All right, we are in Mitchell, South Dakota, home of the world's only, see the theme here, world's tallest, world's only corn palace. So we're gonna go check this thing out. Apparently they redo it every year, new designs. All the designs are made out of corn and corn cobs. So we're gonna check this thing out before we move on down the road. Out here in Mitchell, South Dakota, across from the Corn Palace, there is the Rotary Club has their old clock here, and a great point on the bottom of it. The four-way test of the things we think, say, or do. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? And will it be beneficial to all concerned? Those are great things to live by. Just thought I'd throw that in.
How bad is you? They heard my bad shit.
Yes, they did.
All right, we are at the rest area on Interstate 90, South Dakota, Chamberlain, South Dakota, and it's definitely a stop that you need to make. The Dignity statue. So we're doing some work here, but we'll get around to it. Overlooking the water is just absolutely gorgeous. Beware of the winds if you're sitting at the picnic table eating, because your stuff will fly away and then you have to take off running like a little girl.
Hey, you had to go off running too.
I had to run after Jacob's stuff. I took care of mine.
No! Joe was on Jacob! Loser!
lights. And this is a light from a lighthouse. Do you know what lighthouses were used for?
To put light where the ships are when it's dark.
Yeah, absolutely. They were going to help guide the ship through difficult places. And this particular light is very old. It was around for almost 150 years. It was on one of our islands. It's called Sand Island. Here is a picture here of the lighthouse at Sand Island. That light would have been right at the top there. Now the interesting thing about Sand Island is there are two lighthouses there. I wonder why they would have had two lighthouses. Well, they had an old one that they built way back in time, and that's this building. That building is still there. And when the light was in that tower, it could be seen for about 10 miles away. But as time went on, trees grew up, and the light needed to be seen much further out into the lake. So they actually closed this lighthouse and they built a new tower that's much taller. And then the light went up to the top of that tower. My gosh, it could be seen over 20 miles away. That's a long ways, isn't it? And it would guide the ships there. Well, this particular light was at that location. Let's walk through that. This is called the Fernell lens, and that's a fancy name, and it's named after the man who invented the concept of these lights. When you go on to school in a few years, you are going to study in your science classes about what is called refraction of light.
Trout and bears, so I need to get trout and I just add some flowers. That's really cool. And what about you?
Okay, so this is the eagle, and that's the lighthouse, and then there's the sunset, and then the lake.
Oh, that's really cool too. Good job.
I like how both designs incorporate the lighthouses.
Yeah.
Very much what we're about here.
So it looks like you guys have done just enough to become junior rangers. Good job. Okay, so you officially have the stamp. Now you're ready to, you guys raise your right hand and repeat after me. I promise to protect the Apostle Islands and all national parks. To pick up my trash. And leave the animals alone. Good job.
We are in Belforce, South Dakota, which is the geo center of the United States. And a lot of people who will question that, being South Dakota, how is this the center of the United States? Yes, there is a monument in Kansas for the center of the continental United States. Since the addition of Alaska and Hawaii, Belforce, South Dakota is now the geographic center of the United States. So we're going to walk around and take a look here. Yeah.
I want to be in Interstate.
Geographic center of a nation.
I think I'm falling. I'm falling.
I don't think both children can fit inside the state of Tennessee.
I'm in Bristol.
You're in Bristol. Looks to me like you're in North Carolina.
My left foot is
Good Thursday morning, and we are at Wind Cave National Park in South Dakota, not far from Custer State Park. Wind Cave is one of the 63 big national parks. And then later on we'll go over to Jewel Cave, which I believe is a national monument. Not sure why one is a park and one is a monument, but I'm going to ask that question. So let's go into the visitor center and check this out.
Look your right hand. Say after me. As a junior ranger, I promise to help take care of national parks and other natural areas so that one day we may take my family and friends to see what I have seen. Good job, guys. Congratulations. Wear them proudly.
So we lucked out. 3 tickets left for the natural entrance tour. So we're going to take that here at about 15 minutes. Go in an hour and a quarter. Go down natural entrance all the way across and come back up on the other side.
And the cool thing about the route we're about to walk is we're standing on top of it right now. So we start by heading out this way. We'll go down about 150 feet right away. You're not even going to notice it, but we turn around pretty much immediately. We walk right back under here. We'll go under the visitor center, and we're going to pop up on the other side at the end. And so, really another amazing thing about this, so many miles of cave that we have explored right now, about 162 miles nearly. And all of that is underneath a square mile of surface. Wow. So, Jewel Cave is pretty much right in this area. Here, visitor center, up to the campground a little bit. Very complex cave. We're not the longest in the world. We are 7th longest in the world, but we do have the title of being the most complex cave system in the world. So there's a lot of really cool secrets down there, a lot of really amazing things that we protect and preserve in this cave system. You're going to see things down there that really no other caves have. So it's going to be a very special tour. If you've been in other caves before, I promise this is going to be a very different experience. So, given that it is a very complex cave system, it is the size of the natural entrance of Wind Cave. And so, in Lakota history, this opening used to be a lot bigger, about the size of a person. And back then, before any people were to walk the earth, before many animals were to walk the earth, the Lakota resided deep within the cave in their spirit lodge. And during that time, 2 trickster spirits lived on the surface of the earth. And they loved playing pranks on each other, loved tricking each other. And one day they decided to work together. Instead of harming each other, they were going to play a trick on the humans. And so, when they worked together, they went down deep into the cave to find the Lakota, bringing them gifts from the surface to really entice them to come out too early, because the Creator had instructed the Lakota to stay in their spirit lodge. And these trickster spirits brought things that they thought would entice people to come to the surface. Food, clothing, things that really showed how wonderful the surface was. And some Lakota did follow too early. They emerged from the cave, and the version of the story that was told to me was when they emerged, it was the dead of winter, and so they were ill-prepared to live on the surface. So they cried out to their Creator. The Creator took pity on them, put them down on all fours to give them a large hide to keep them warm, and hooves to be able to trample through the snow. And they became the very first bison herd that we have here at Wind Cave. And thus, on the creation of the bison, final puzzle piece needed to create the surface. So once that happened, the Creator cried out into Wind Cave that the rest of the Lakota were able to come out of the cave, follow the bison for all their needs. And then when the final member of the Lakota emerged from the cave, they shrunk the natural entrance behind them to the size it is today, to show that you can never return to where you came from, but that you also should never forget where you came from.
shoes, rain jackets. Yeah, rain hats. Yeah.